Hi, this is Coach Judith and Quarantine Coding Club. Welcome back to those of you who've been following us. And for those of you who haven't, the way these episodes run is I take a video that was created by my coworker, Steven, and I break it down into two halves and discuss the video and try to explain some of the more difficult concepts as we go along. I also try often to talk about my pets. For some reason, my cat is actually here in my office as I'm recording this. I really hope she's not going to end up in the screen, but I don't know if she won't end up in the video here. So here's hoping she'll stay out of it, but cannot promise. Anyway, let me switch over to the video and let's get started here.
Yesterday, I released a video about making videos with videos inside of them.
Okay, so yesterday's episode was a meta video. It was a video about creating videos, and we at Metacoders call things like that meta. So a meta video, a video that taught how to create a video. And the reason Stephen is creating videos at all, or videos about creating videos, but the whole reason is to invite people. Uh-oh, here comes my kitty. Nope, she's not coming over. Invite people to join a Facebook group so that we can have communities in different areas with people getting together digitally since we can't get together in person. So this video was something that he was going to use to encourage people to join local Facebook group communities. Oh, wait a minute. I just wanted you guys to see. Look at, there's my kitty. Do you see her? She's actually sitting on my other computer. So not very helpful. Anyway, let's get back to Steven's video.
I made the following claim. With a single line of code, you could be the proud owner of a video like this one. The reality is...
Okay, so he didn't show you the video, but we are going to see the video later, the video about creating videos, the meta video. But yesterday he did tell us that we could change some code and that you could then create your own videos. But in fact, and I didn't say this in yesterday's episode, but when I looked for that code that Stephen talked about and referred to, I didn't find it yesterday. So that's why I didn't show it to you. But I think now he's put it up.
You can't, or you couldn't. At least at the time that I made the video, you couldn't do what the video said you could do.
Okay, so depending on when you're watching this, that may be kind of confusing. But the day that Stephen recorded a video saying that you could change some code, and the day that I commented on that video, you couldn't actually change some code and create the video that he was referring to. Luckily, I'm pretty sure now he has set up that code for us.
With a single line of code, you could be the proud owner of a video like this one. So was it a lie? No, it's something called test-driven development. Students learn about it in introductory coding classes, and
you guys are going to learn about it right now.
It has long been a best practice for professional developers. And the idea is bizarrely simple. Write what your code should do before it does it.
All right, so that's exactly what Stephen did. He said the code is going to allow you to create videos with very simple changes, but he hadn't actually written the code to do that. So this is a process in software engineering called test-driven development, TDD.
So when I said this, with a single line of code, you could be the proud owner of a video like this one. I was stating something that, with my code, I would make come true.
All right. So that's kind of like a wish, maybe? I'm going to make it come true. So he was going to create code that you could then take as sort of a template, and you only had to change a few things. And one line is what he said. And then you could have your own video. So he had in his mind the vision of what he wanted to happen and said it was going to happen. And then he had to write the code to back it up. So that's a different way of developing software, maybe even a different way of developing other things too, that you think about what is the ultimate goal? What is it that you want? Why are you doing this? And you could use that same process with so many different things when you're writing a letter, a composition for class, music. Why am I writing this? What's inspiring me? What is the point? In Stephen's case, the reason he's creating these videos is to get people who are stuck at home due to coronavirus to be together in communities. So that's why he's doing it. And the way he's doing it is creating these video templates that you can then personalize. Let's keep watching.
And so I spent today writing the minimal amount of code necessary to make that claim true. You can find it on my GitHub.
All right, so GitHub, and we are going to look at GitHub in a little bit, but GitHub is a program that software developers use to store their code so that they have it in one place on the internet that they can get to from multiple devices. But the other really cool thing about GitHub is it does allow multiple developers, multiple coders or software engineers to get to that same software and edit the software, change it, make changes, and collaborate and work together. And it has a process that you use to make sure that your changes and your coworkers' changes work well together. So that's what GitHub is.
It's the same one I linked at the end of the first video. Stephen with a PH, signing off.
All right, so that was, let me just show you that real quick. That is Stephen's GitHub repository. That's a big word for like a place in the internet where he stores all his files. So I went to that. He's going to show it in a little bit, but I went there, and this is the website, github.com. That's the program, SR Foster. That's Stephen Foster, and these meta viral videos. And I think what he's going to show us is a little bit of the README, but I just want to go through it with you. Now, these are folders that the files are in, and this is the documentation. Here's one of his example files, which I think is pretty much what it shows in the README. But let's look at this this software and see what we can make of it. So Stephen is using a language called Racket. It's something that we use a lot at Metacoders. It's a language that allows you to create other languages, which is really cool. When we are teaching our classes in a classroom, we bring code that we've written, languages that we've created, like a survival language that is unique to us. We make it. So anyway, he is using Racket. That's what this says. And this is other files that he's written that you need in order for this one to run. But basically what it's telling you is it's going to create this MLT file, and that is the video that's going to be used by this video editing program Shotcut that Stephen's been using. And then these are the clips that go into his video. So there's the basic one, which I think is where he's going, hey, this is Stephen, and I want to invite you to join. I think that's the basic base video. And then he has in here, and this is where you would change things up. He has two different videos about a cat. So those of you who didn't see the video yesterday, we will get to see his cat, whose name is Kitty, and he has two different video clips of Kitty. And then he has a picture here that is just a QR code. We'll talk about a QR code in a bit. And then some text. So what you would need to change if you were going to use his meta video would be this cat event. And you would probably do two of them. He's done the same one twice, and we'll explain that in a bit. But you would do two of them. One of them would be your name, and one of them would be your neighborhood, and then your unique QR code, and then whatever words you wanted it to say. So that is a little bit of looking at Stephen's code here. Let's keep watching.
Edgar Dykstra, a computer scientist of great renown, once said, It is a mistake to think that programmers' wares are programs. Program source code is just the accompanying material.
Oh, so this was a really smart computer scientist, and it's also something that I've heard Stephen talk about in the past. Um, Writing code isn't let's look at that quote. The purpose of writing code isn't just to produce code, it's to solve problems, it's to create unique products, there's all kinds of reasons why you would create code. And I think the question that you need to ask yourself, which we will talk about, is why am I creating this program? We know why Stephen is creating this meta video, and you just use the source code. It's just kind of a tool that is so that you can make it to your goal. So that's what this very smart computer scientist, whose name is really hard to pronounce, Dykstra, but when you see it spelled like that, oh my. Anyway, so that I think is what he's trying to tell us.
Material. My video made an argument for the value of some software, and the software that I uploaded today is the accompanying material for that video.
All right, so today's software that we just looked at, that is a software that you needed in order to create these meta videos.
The minimal amount of code required to deliver on that value. The video is the why, which explains the story, and then the code is the how.
Oh, did you catch that? So we talked about how and why in another one of Stephen's videos, but the how is the actual code that we just looked at in the GitHub, but the why is what's really important. Why are we even making these videos? It's because we want to create this digital community. So what's more important? Sure, you need the how, you need the steps, but if you don't know why you're doing something, then you're not going to be as motivated. You're probably not going to do as good a job.
Everything else is subject to change except for a few important lines. And here's the paradox. They're the lines in the README. They're the lines in my example files. They're ones that users of my code, other coders, they're lines that they would be able to write.
All right, so we looked at that here. We looked at those same files that Stephen looked at. This was his example file in his GitHub. And yeah, this was pretty easy. You've never seen this code before today. And I haven't either because Stephen hadn't even uploaded it yet. But it's pretty easy to follow. So even if you're a beginning coder, you can use this code and create your video.
Guess what? They are the lines I wrote first. And even before I wrote them as code, I wrote them on paper.
Oh, wait. Do you guys remember if you did see yesterday's video? Oh, I guess we're not going to actually get to see the paper. But he did. He wrote down on paper what he wanted the code to look like, and then he wrote the actual code.
As code, I wrote them on paper.
There
when
it is.
I did first write them in code, running them was an error. It was only by writing subsequent code that I made that error go away. It's test-driven development once again.
Okay, so he's talking again about test-driven development and how he came up with why he was doing it. And what I think he just snuck in there really quickly was that there were some problems. His code didn't really run the first time. In computer science, we call that bugs. So there was a bug in his code and it didn't run, and he didn't know why it didn't run, but he still knew why he was writing the code. And so that kind of inspired him to create the code and then also to debug the code to sort of figure out why he wanted to fix it, because he really wanted to get this to work so that everybody could create these videos. We're going to stop this half of the commentary now, and we will continue in a second video.